This presentation will be exploring the rationale behind implementing a social and emotional programme such as the Didactics of Emotions within your school. So what are the 5 key aspects of social and emotional capability? The Social Mobility and Child Poverty Commission in 2015 focused a piece of research on social and emotional skills in childhood and their long-term effects on adult life. They drew on the existing literature to identify 5 key aspects of social and emotional capability. Of all the 5 social and emotional skills groups considered, self-control and self-regulations matters most consistently for adult outcomes. For example, better self-regulation is strongly associated with mental well-being, good physical health and health behaviours, and socio-economic and labour market forces. Self-perceptions and self-awareness, such as self-esteem and the belief that one's own actions can make a difference, are also found to be important for many adult outcomes. For example, self-esteem and the belief that one's own actions can make a difference matter for mental well-being, good physical health and health behaviours, and socio-economic and labour market outcomes. Social skills related to peer relationships, sociability and social functioning in childhood also matter. For example, social skills are important for mental well-being and having a family. In general, there is a lack of evidence on the long-term importance of motivation and resilience. Whether this means that these skills are unimportant for adult outcomes or that these skills are just under research is unclear. However, anecdotal evidence would seem to suggest that these skills are important as protective factors for future outcomes. Therefore, interventions which support motivation, resilience and coping mean that youngsters are less likely to engage in socially deviant behaviour at later life. The evidence also suggests the importance of emotional well-being in childhood. Emotional health in childhood matters for mental well-being as an adult. The Social Mobility and Child Poverty Commission's research found that programmes which focus on social and emotional learning led to benefits for students' educational outcomes. They found that programmes which sought to improve the skills of students, including self-esteem, social skills, problem-solving and coping skills, led to benefits for students' social and emotional competencies and educational outcomes. Programmes such as the Didactics of Emotions are helpful in demonstrating and teaching these skills. Their meta-analysis of the most effective social and emotional learning programmes found that the best evidence programmes in schools and out-of-school settings have adopted a structured approach to delivery, including having specific and well-defined learning outcomes, provision of structured activities, training of facilitators, with the use also of a structured manual to support this training, and implementation over a longer period of time. All of these are factors which are evident within the Didactics of Emotions. They also found that social, emotional and cognitive skills were very important for future outcomes, with their research showing that social and emotional skills have a positive impact on the development of cognitive skills. The evidence base presented by McNeil et al. Makes the case for why social and emotional capabilities matter and explores how they are connected to a range of outcomes for young people. Communication. For example, research from the University of Sheffield suggests that good communication is essential for a successful transition to work or training, for independence and to access a range of life opportunities. Both the Rose Review and the Burko report highlighted the role of a communication in attainment and forming positive relationships. Improved communication skills have also been linked to reductions in reoffending. They also highlighted confidence and agency. For example, Carol Dweck has shown that enabling young people to recognise that they can make a difference to their own lives and that effort has a purpose is important to key outcomes such as career success. A further area was planning and problem solving. For example, Michael Turner's research suggests that problem solving, alongside resilience, provides young people with a positive protective armour against negative outcomes associated with risky life events. Problem solving has also been shown to be associated with the ability to cope with stresses in life. Relationships and leadership were highlighted, for example, by Pamela Qualter, who found a strong relationship between emotional intelligence, positive school transitions, and academic success, again highlighting the importance of those social and emotional capabilities. The Robinson report notes that creativity can have an impact on both self-esteem and, again, on overall achievement and academic attainment. In the field of resilience and determination, a number of studies show important effects from discipline, patience and motivation, including work by James Heckman on the study of early psychological well-being and analysis by Peter Clough and Keith Earle on the role of mental toughness. Duckworth and Seligman have highlighted the importance of self-discipline as a vital factor in building academic achievement and actually is significantly better than IQ for this prediction. Managing feelings. For example, Daniel Goleman noted that mood management is a critical part of emotional intelligence, which also features in Howard Gardner's interpersonal intelligence. There is evidence that regulating emotional behaviour is correlated with higher wages in later life. So what are the characteristics of these effective school-based emotional skills programs? McNeil et al. Found that there is a substantial and growing evidence that developing social and emotional capabilities supports the achievement of positive life outcomes, including educational attainment, employment, and health. Capabilities such as resilience, communication, and negotiation are also increasingly cited as being the foundations of employability. Evidence shows that approaches that focus on building social and emotional capabilities, such as these, can have greater long-term impact than ones that focus on directly seeking to reduce the symptoms of poor outcomes for young people. And again, didactics of emotions is focused on this preventative approach to developing social and emotional skills. So what is the research basis for the strength of the link between social and emotional skill development and positive outcomes? Gilliam and Shahar found that many young children are entering school without social and emotional and behavioural skills needed to support success, and therefore further investigation was needed as to what can be done to help develop these social and behavioural skills. Qualter found that there was a significant relationship between emotional intelligence as a predictor of academic success, highlighting emotional intelligence and emotional self-efficacy as significant in academic achievement and also in smooth school transitions. Bernard noted in 2004 that the strengths of social competence, autonomy, problem-solving, and sense of purpose are associated with healthy development and life success. Goodman and Gregg found that attitudes and behaviours can help to explain the reasons for the growth in the attainment gap over adolescence. Recent research for the Joseph Rowntree Foundation also suggests that social and emotional capabilities are connected to positive outcomes. Goodman and Gregg note that attitudes and behaviours account significantly for attainment gaps between children from rich and poor backgrounds. Young people are more likely to do well at school if they have self-belief, self-efficacy and agency. That is, if they believe they can avoid risky behaviour and that events result primarily from their own behaviour and actions, then they can make a difference. This is also referred to as having an inner locus or internal locus of control, a factor which has been highlighted as significant in a range of other research. In other research, Heckman and colleagues have also shown that both cognitive and non-cognitive skills influence education attainment. Smoking by the age 18, imprisonment, participation in illegal activities, and pregnancy by age of 18. Their research suggests that, for many of these behaviours, non-cognitive skills, such as social and emotional skills, are much more important than cognitive skills. Crucially, one of the main points that Heckman makes is that while IQ is fairly well established after the first 10 years of a person's life, social and emotional capabilities are more readily changed at later ages. Therefore, there is a strong case that non-cognitive interventions, such as those provided through the didactics of emotions and by many who work with young people, are appropriate for a person's teenage years. The Institute of Education in 2015 found that self-regulation and behavioural skills at age 11 years can have an equally strong association with being employed or not as functional skills at the same age. In addition to this, Duckworth and Seligman looked at the importance of self-discipline on a group of 13 and 14-year-olds from a socio-economically and ethnically diverse school. They conducted a 2-year study of the young people's self-discipline levels, finding that self-discipline was a significantly better predictor of academic performance than IQ. They went on to suggest that programs that build self-discipline could well be the way to ensure that students can achieve their academic potential. Carneiro et al. Used data for Great Britain from the National Child Development Study and found that non-cognitive skills were important for a host of outcomes, including attendance and post-16 participation in learning, employment status and wages, health and risky behaviour, and likelihood of obtaining a degree. Non-cognitive skills included persistence, attentiveness, and a range of social skills such as getting on with others, truthfulness, and asking for help willingly. Their work also suggests that social skills may well be more malleable than cognitive skills, which, if true, suggests that there may be greater scope for schools to focus on social and emotional skills rather than the traditional cognitive skill focus. This last slide shows a framework which helps to demonstrate the interaction between the various factors described in the previous slides that impact on social emotional learning skills. At the centre of the framework is a circle representing the core domains of social and emotional learning skills. These skills can be grouped into 3 conceptual categories: emotional processes, such as emotional literacy, self-regulation, empathy and perspective taking; social interpersonal skills, such as following social cues, positive interactions with others and other pro-social behaviours; and cognitive regulation, such as attention control, inhibition of inappropriate responses, and cognitive flexibility. These 3 domains of social and emotional learning skills are related to short-term and long-term outcomes presented on the right side of the figure. These include academic achievement, for example grades, standardized tests of academic skills; positive behaviour, for example taking others' perspectives, getting along well with other children, and exhibiting less aggression and conduct problems. The links between the social and emotional learning skills in the centre and the outcomes to the right-hand side of the diagram do not operate in a vacuum. Quite the contrary, they are influenced by several environmental factors and systems such as the local community, local and national policy, which is represented at the bottom of this slide. Represented in the box at the left of the figure, school context includes the 2 areas of school culture and climate, as well as effective social and emotional learning implementation. Students' social and emotional learning skills and the school context factors are both influenced by teachers' social and emotional competence and pedagogical knowledge and skills, which is demonstrated in the top box, and this diagram helps to demonstrate the interacting nature of these factors. So why should we be implementing social and emotional programs such as the didactics of emotions within our school system? Well, the slides to date have helped to show us that implementing these programs helps to improve academic outcomes, improve the levels of student-teacher communication, which thus improves the engagement with students in the wider curriculum. In addition to this, there are improved longer-term career success for students, and there is a reduction in risky and antisocial behaviour, highlighting the importance of developing social and emotional skills within our school settings. For further references and reading, please look on this slide. Thank you.